good for the mind. There will be no women or men's group this month. We will resume the third Sunday of October. We usually have a Mindful Men's Treehouse and a Women's Consciousness group that meets on the third Sunday separately in Lidgate Park. And it's always a great little gathering and a great sharing of experience, love, consciousness, and aloha. So, please keep that on your calendar. Join us. If you're a man, join the Mindful Men's Treehouse, and for the women, join the Women's Consciousness group. You will love it. You will absolutely love it. Today is the International Day of Peace, which will be celebrated at Lidgate Park in the large pavilion from 3 to 7 p.m. There's music, talks, it's free. There's international food by Kaua'i chefs, interfaith prayers, and activities for children of all ages. Reverend Jay will be leading some of the talks today. Awesome, awesome. Next Sunday, September 27th, is our Goodbye Big celebration to the Austin Aloha Hotel in this room. Invite your friends, people we haven't seen for a while. Let's go out with a big celebration. It's also birthday Sunday, which means there will be cake.
Yay.
There will be cake.
Yay.
Got to come for the cake. So come and help us celebrate all the September birthdays. New class is coming in October, Beyond Limits. Did you know that you embody the same creative process that brought this universe into being and keeps the planet spinning? Did you know that? I did. In this class, you will study the great law of the universe and learn how to use it with love for your highest good. Based on the book by Ernest Holmes, How to Change Your Life, this course will do just that. This is going to be taught by the Reverends Rita and Patrick. Spirits in Rebellion, come experience the healing power of our New Thought lineage and bring spiritual mind healing into your life. This 10-week class will be taught in Lihue beginning September 30th. If you are interested in these classes, there's a sign-up sheet on the table, or you can talk to Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick. Sacred Service Ministry, CSL Kaua'i, has its very first volunteer coordinator, Donna Apalato Shumaka. We are so grateful for Donna stepping up into service. We invite everyone to get involved to assist Donna. There are many exciting opportunities for service. You can email Donna at donna@akamaibooks.com if you're interested. So mahalo nui loa for answering the call, Donna. Thank you so much. CSL is live streaming. Thanks to our wonderful tech over here, Rob Jones. He keeps us going and up online, and he's doing a great job. We thank him. Go to our website, www.cslkauai.org. Click on the link on the home page, or click on the video archives for past services. You can also subscribe to our YouTube page and receive notices when we post videos. So you got a lot of options to watch us live or archive some of the past services. Membership, if you want to commit to your spiritual growth, that's what membership is. It's a commitment to your spiritual growth. We want you to join CSL Ohana and make it your home. Please talk to Reverends Rita and Patrick about becoming a member of CSL Kaua'i. Our next membership is Sunday, September 27, 2015. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, Ron. Okay, so as I mentioned, we do have this wonderful high-tech person taking care of the live streaming. He has informed me he forgot to turn the sound on when I started the service and started. He's taking a bow if you can't see that in the live streaming. So they did not hear all the wonderful things that I had to say. So I'm going to at least tell you one great thing. I'll repeat one great thing that those of you who just walked in and the people out there in the world, because we're worldwide, all the people can hear what I said. So what I said is, we're so happy to have all the visitors here today, but especially if you turn around and see all those fabulous, fabulous visitors that are the Hawaiian royalty that's visiting CSL Kaua'i today. And Rob, if you want to pan one more time, just so that whoever is tuned in can really see what I'm talking about. And we're excited, and this has never happened at CSL Kaua'i before. And Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick, eat your hearts out. And also, I have to say that one other thing I had to comment on in this new room that we're using is that Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick, look at this podium here. I get to stand in front of this. Wow, and they haven't had a chance to stand in front of this beautiful podium. So, and there's one minor little thing I have to add, is that if you did not hear the words I was saying a few minutes ago, Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick are now officially ordained ministers of CSL. So as you can hear, the crowd here is very happy. They all knew what was going to happen. I mean, what's the big deal except it's official. And they do get to wear these beautiful purple sash things that I think we should have some in the bookstore, because I think a lot of us ladies would like to wear them. You know, it'd be a good selling thing. Okay, so thank you, Ron, for stepping in for your wife. And I have to also mention that Jeremy is here without his wife, too. So what is this? These wives go off on vacation. And Jeremy will be playing music during our meditation. So I would like to ask Malia to come up and do the meditation and invocation. And Malia is a classmate of mine for the past 2 years, and we're both prac students. And before that happens, we're going to light the peace candle. And what we know is that we all want peace in the earth, on earth. We want it all over the world, but peace does begin with me, with each of you. And this is our reminder that peace begins with each of us.
So I'd like to invite everyone to start off by closing your eyes if you'd like, if that's comfortable, and taking some deep breaths for our meditation. I like to inhale deeply and fill up my belly like a beach ball, inhaling deeply, holding the breath for a few seconds, and then exhaling completely, pulling the belly into the navel point. Let's do 2 more deep breaths like that before our meditation. Really filling up the lungs, this life force that's here, that's everywhere. The time is now to share my truth as an offering of light, love, and gratitude. Kaua'i. Enjoy your meditation. Starting to come back to this room, to this place, and this beautiful space that we're in. I'd like to read my quote again from Kaua'i. The time is now to share my truth as an offering of light, love, and gratitude. There's one power and one presence in the universe, God, good, omnipotent, omnipresent. Because God is everywhere, God is in me, and God is in all of you, and in nature, the trees, the sky, the ocean, the rocks, the four-legged ones. God is everywhere. Because God is everywhere, and God is in all of us, we are so blessed to be alive right now. And what I know is today this service is going to be full of joy and happiness and new beginnings and awakenings and balance and peace and love and glory, and it's just a celebration of love and life. And I am so grateful for this time that we have today to share with everyone, all of our brothers and sisters. And I release it to the law as law, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. So it is.
Mahalo, Malia, and also to Jeremy. So right now I have the pleasure of introducing our minister for today. And I would like to introduce Reverend J. Willock, the assistant minister and the arts minister at the Global Truth Center in North Hollywood, California, and fellow ministerial student with Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick. So come on up. And I just want to say a couple things about Reverend J and Rev J, the New Thought guy.
Yeah.
His earlier career included being a theater producer, director, actor, audiobook narrator, as well as many other illustrious positions. And of course, he is the New Thought guy, and he has a mission to inspire, provoke, and entertain others to their greatness. Please welcome Reverend J. Willock.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Roseanne. Hi, everybody. How are you? Good. Everybody's good? Yeah. So mommy and daddy are gone. I'm the babysitter, so get out the ice cream and the horror flicks, and let's have a good time. Yeah? All right. So the first thing I want to do, you ready, Ron? First thing I want to do is I'm going to have Ron turn the camera around. I'm going to come out here and I'm sorry, you're Ron. Rob, turn the camera around, and we're all going to say hi to Rita and Patrick, because they're probably watching by now if they hadn't started already. Here we go. Ready? Everybody? Hi! All right. Yay. So I want to remind everybody that there is a power for good in the universe, and it is inside you, and you are it. this power for good in the universe. It is greater than us, and yet it is within each and every one of us. And that is pretty much the basic tenet of not only Centers for Spiritual Living, but New Thought in general. So live it and love it and be it, because you are it right here now. Do we have newcomers today? Any folks here for the first time?
Yeah.
There's one. That's good. So let's get this gentleman a nice newcomer packet, and we'll teach you the secret dance later. But there's something that this congregation wants you to know, and it's very important for you to know, and it's something you were born with and can never be taken away. And are you ready, everybody? Yeah. What is that? You are magnificent. Each and every one of us is magnificent, because that is our birthright, to be magnificent. And what we do with that magnificence is up to us. Do we want to bring greater good into our life? Boom, done. We got the power. Do we want to bring not so greater good stuff, intentionally or unintentionally? Unfortunately, boom, there it is. Because of the power within you and your magnificence, you can change your life right here and right now. So let's see what's next. Let me make sure I am in the right order. Here we are. Okay, great. So now we have our opening song with the wonderful Jeremy Brown. Have at it, buddy.
All right, everybody, let's have a stand if you feel like standing up.
Have a stand.
Is that a fruit stand? Oh, yeah.
So Reverend Jay, Makani, we sing Makani is the wind.
I thought Mariah was the wind.
We say blow Makani, so lucky Makani. So we haven't had any wind for a lot of the summer, but it came back last week.
Yeah. We experienced that. It's great.
We also sing Awe in the song, which is like a Polynesian cry of great emotion. So feel free to sing that out real loud and passionately. Yeah.
Away, away, so much love in the world. Away, away, so much love in the world. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Oh, Makani, cleanse my soul. Oh, Makani, cleanse my soul. Away, away, so much love in the world. Away, away, so much love in the world. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Living together as one, under the golden sun. Oh, Makani, cleanse my soul. Oh, Makani, cleanse my soul.
So let's know right now together that that power in that universe that comes through the wind goes through us, as us, for us at all times. Because there's only one mind, and we are a part of this very mind. So let's know this service brings into us, each and every one of us, from this moment now, the wind of peace, the wind of wisdom, the wind of light and love, forevermore. We do this with gratitude, knowing them to be true, that each and every word I have said goes into the universe that says yes, and brings these things into our experience forevermore. As together we sing, and so it is.
Away, away, So much loving in the world. Away, away. So much loving in the world. You know we're living together as one. Under the golden sun. Living together as one. Under the golden sun. Oh, Makani. Cleanse my soul. Oh, Makani. Cleanse my soul. Sing it, sing it. Oh, Makani. Cleanse my soul. Oh, Makani. Cleanse my
Go, Jim. Woo! That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. So, for our reading and affirmation, I'm going to introduce Donna back in front. Come on, Donna. Let's give a big hand for Donna.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So great to be here. Aloha, Reverend Patrick and Rita. I picked a few passages around peace this morning, and the first one is by Reverend Mary E. Mitchell, and the second one is by Ernest Holmes, and it goes like this. Peace begins in our conscious mind, and through belief and acceptance, it moves into our subconscious mind, where the co-creative action of Spirit, of God, brings it into being. And the second passage is, the infinite is always at peace because there is nothing to disturb it. A realization of our oneness with omnipresence brings peace, the peace which is accompanied by a consciousness of power. And the affirmation is, the opportunity for peace is always present. I choose peace. And if you'll repeat it with me, the opportunity for peace is always present. I choose peace. Thank you, everyone.
It's all about peace today, huh? And that's great. So, Jeremy, you have some special music. You're tuning a little bit there.
New strings for today.
New strings. See? A new room, new strings. Jeremy doing solo. And you're going to do a Hawaiian tune for us?
I am. So
have at it.
When I
Jeremy, everyone.
was flagged down by Rob's like, Jeremy, in here. Like, oh, the elite room. Been in this room before. So it's a great honor. So I'm going to sing a song about the last reigning monarch of Hawaii, Queen Liliuokalani. She's the last woman staged that way. So I was honored to travel with my hula teacher to Oahu with my family and visit the Royal Mausoleum there in Nu'uanu by the Pali Highway. And this is where the Iali'i are kept. And it was a real honor to actually get to go down into the crypt and see the different names and years of their life on the wall. And it was actually the time of Queen Liliu's birthday. So there was special, the Royal Hawaiian Band was playing, and there were speakers and singers and chanters and dancers. So it was an honor to be a small part of that program there on September 2nd, I believe it was. Her actual birthday was a few days later when we celebrated at Iolani Palace. So it's pretty powerful to see these faces and the responsibility that these people carry in their lives. Really powerful. So the song is actually an ancient hula that was put to modern music, hula awana. So I don't have a dancer, but unless anybody is a dancer knows this song. So it's called Lili Ue no Honani. I haven't sung this in a long time, so I'm not sure which key. Hopefully it's good for my voice, huh? It's a little high, okay? Try again. Apparatus. So it sounds all in Hawaiian, but it speaks of the beauty of the queen. It speaks of her body, you know, and from head to toe in her beauty. That's what it says. Elilihu no nani koki no kimili komakae no veoni kopapalina ekukuana. That verse was about her beautiful eyes, her beautiful face, and her lovely smile. Kopohivi aniperahi kopoli nahe nahe vale. Suppleness of her shoulders. Kokuli nuku moe kovavai Kaua'i. Moving down to her knees and her feet. Aina iama anakapuana elilihu no nani. So the story is told of Lilihu and her beauty. Aina iama anakapuana elilihu no nani mai.
That was great. Thank you. Fantastic, huh? All right. Thank you, Jeremy. So, you're right, it is. That's why I repeated it.
I take one-word superlatives anytime.
You are magnificent. So, as Roseanne mentioned, that Rita and Patrick and I went through ministerial together, but we also went through practitioner together, which some of you are doing right now, right? And that's a 2-year journey before the other 2-year journey to ministerial, and it's about a 7-year journey at least to get to this point. and we did that together, and that's why one of the reasons why Rita and Patrick are so special to me, because as you practitioner interns are realizing, you get very, very close in those 2 years. It's a very intense look inward to not only what's going on with you, but what's going on in the world as it connects to you. And you become very close with these people. There were 8 or 9, I believe, in my practitioner class. And so we're all very close still, though we're not all in the same place. So today and I apologize for wearing these foreign things called socks. And shoes, although they're clogs, so that's not too bad, although they do have a back. But I wanted to slightly dress for, and I see that was a mistake. So tomorrow, as you all know, because they've been talking about it in the last week, and they're talking about it a lot today, is the International Day of Peace, which is, of course, dedicated to world peace. Otherwise, it'd be a dumb title. And it's dedicated to not only peace, but the absence of war and violence. And it's usually a day, which officially is tomorrow, where any conflicts that are going on in the world, there's usually a ceasefire for that 24 hours in which a lot of humanitarian aid comes into these places that are suffering through this violence. It was first celebrated in 1982, and it took the UN till 2013, because, you know, government is a little bit slow, to dedicate it, and it was dedicated by the Secretary General of the UN for peace education, that being the key to prevent future wars and or at least reduce future wars. The theme of this year's commemoration is Partnerships for Peace, Dignity for All. And what will happen tomorrow is a special peace bell will ring at the UN. And this peace bell was cast from coins donated from children all over the world. Supposedly not from Africa. I'm not sure what happened there. And it was a gift by the UN Association of Japan as a reminder of the human cost of war. And there's an inscription on the side of this bell that will be rung tomorrow, and it says, "Long live absolute world peace." So I want to tell you a little bit about what's being celebrated tomorrow and what's going to be talked about in the park back there this afternoon, that I will be a part of. I'll be leading one of the panels that will discuss peace. It's an interfaith panels, and we will discuss peace and what peace means to each and every one of us in our own special ways, faith-based and non-faith-based. But as I was thinking about this International Peace Day and what it means to me, I realized that peace is not just about the lack of war, or the lack of bombs going off, or the lack of violence, or even about the lack of visiting mother-in-laws, which could be a little violent in some ways. But that it's also about, and I think more importantly, about peace of the mind. There's all kinds of ways to help prevent peace, or to help prevent war in the world and bring peace where there is not. And that will be discussed, and that's always active. But the peace of the mind is what's important. And how we persuade the world, especially the leaders of the world, to have or to gain peace of the mind. Because I believe that if you are serene in your mind, if you have that consciousness of peace, then it would be extremely difficult for you to take what's going on in the world and give that order for guns to go off and bombs to be dropped. So, what I think is going on is that these bombs, this violence, this non-peace is an effect. And the cause is the lack of peace of mind. So how do we make this cause, this peace of mind, spread around the world? So I've been thinking about that, and like I said, you know, activists do it, and this This International Peace Day, or World Peace Day, some people call it, is one way. Education is another way. People holding signs and people signing petitions and calling the Congress people, et cetera, is great ways. But where does it start? It starts here. It starts here in each and every one of us. Now, I'm probably speaking to the choir, as they say. But we all have our moments where our peace of mind gets rattled, where we get frustrated, where we think we're right, and thus have to push our rightness or righteousness onto another person or to people or to the people who work around us or anything like that. Because we lose, temporarily, that peace of mind. So it starts here, in the heart, and here, in the mind. Now, the mind is not necessarily here, but this is where the brain is, and where we connect our thinking to. And get in touch with that vibration of life. You know what I'm talking about? The vibration of life. Do you ever sense that vibration? It's really alive here. You have a lot of it. I looked it up, and in Hawaiian it's called mana, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's the energy that connects us all. And you might have heard the word prana, which is very close, chi, Shakti. In Southern California, people feel this vibration a lot as well, and I'm not sure if it's because medical marijuana is legal or not, or what's going on. But what's important is that it's not an external vibration. Yes, it goes on all around us. There's an energy all around us, but that vibration is inside, going out. It's actually a harmonization that becomes a vibration. It's a harmonization that we tune into and empowers us. The Hawaiian word is ho'omana, is the power that empowers us. You know, I was, a few weeks ago, somebody put on Facebook these sounds from the universe. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I went to the website and I listened. And I was amazed. Now, there's some of the sounds were very science fiction-y, you know, that you would hear in a science fiction movie. But some of them, especially one of them from the sun, actually, and these are sounds that are out of the vibrations of our ears. Nobody really knows that because no one's had the courage to take their helmet off while they're floating in space to see if they hear anything. But scientifically, these sounds do not vibrate in the hertz, megahertz, and the frequencies that we can hear. But science has moved these frequencies to a vibrational sound that we can hear. And one of them, especially one of them coming from the sun, sounds like the Om that you hear when Buddhists meditate, when Hindus meditate. And that amazed me. In Hawaiian, it's called Oli. Oli? O-L-I? Oli? And I think it's so interesting because science is constantly catching up with metaphysics. Isn't that amazing? The way physics is explaining how the universe works, that's been known for thousands of years, especially by indigenous folk. The Native Americans, the Hawaiians, they've already for thousands of years harmonized with this sound that we call Om, or that we hear Om, and if you go to these websites and listen to the sounds from space, some of them have that ooh kind of sound going. It's amazing. It's the sound of the universe. It's the sound of creation because, you know, it takes hundreds, if not thousands or hundreds of thousands of years for that sound to reach Earth. It's the sound of the divine. working, the universe working. It's the sound of God. And for those who don't necessarily like that term, it's the sound of the Big Bang happening, which is God. And we harmonize with it because we are it. We are it. And sometimes we forget how to harmonize it with it. We forget it. So much is going on in the world. You sit there and you read the news and you watch TV and you go on the internet and you see all these things. It's hard. Or you go, for those who might work in an office, you go to the water cooler and you chat, or the coffee room and you chat, and everybody's gossiping and complaining and the economy and it's so expensive. And, you know, all these things, all this negativity, or people around you who are negative, and you get dragged down. And you lose, temporarily, that harmony, that harmonization with the vibration of the universe, that Om, that power that is within you, that keeps us away from having peace of the mind. But when you have peace of the mind, when you are harmonizing on your own, because all this negative stuff around us is going to happen, it's how much we want to dip into it, allow ourselves to dip into that, what's called race consciousness. Have you heard that term, race consciousness? Which, for those who don't know, has to do with how the world is thinking. Like, I find it funny when people are talking about, oh, the economy is so bad. I can't remember a time in my 57 years, especially before I could read or care about such things, where people didn't think the economy was bad. And then 10 years, a decade later or so, somebody, oh, well, the 90s wasn't bad. Really? Because during the 90s, the economy sucked, everyone thought. But if we buy into that, then everything that comes around us economically is not going to be so great, because we're going to buy into the race consciousness that believes this negativity. But as each and every one of us step into our peace of mind and harmonize with the Om, the mana, the Shakti, the prana, the chi of the universe, of that power within, then we get to step through that negativity. We are less affected by that negativity because we can hear it, we can understand it, we could absorb the information maybe, but we can step through it with grace, love, and intelligence because we are harmonizing with what is true. And that is the powers within us. We are magnificent, and we can step into whatever kind of experiences we want by deciding what they are. When the economy is not great, a lot of people, for them, the economy is not great. This is one example, of course. There's other negativities in the world. But it seems that there's a lot of other people, and not just rich people, who can step through that and grow through that. Not because they have special things where they sell stock short, or all these other techniques you can use during quote-unquote bad times to increase your economic pocketbook. But because their mind is in, yeah, well, whatever. I know that the power is within me, and I have decided right now that I declare and I require a good economy around me. Boom. And it's done. I want to talk about a little bit about the difference between feelings and emoting. Some of you might have heard this if you're NPR listeners. There was a guest on Michael Beckwith's show. Michael Beckwith, everybody know who Michael Beckwith is? Michael Beckwith is a very large congregation in Los Angeles called the Agape International Center. He's got a few thousand people every Sunday, 3 services. And he has a radio show, and he was talking to a woman who wrote this book, and she was talking about the difference between feelings and emoting. Feelings are things we have that assist us in burning off what's going on that has created these feelings, especially negative feelings. And they allow us to transform, to experience what's going on and be transformed by it, whether positive or negative. Emoting, getting stuck in emotions, is when you repeat the story over and over again. You gain this odd positive, with quotes around it, feelings that keep you going. But you never get past that story, that negative story. You're still in the chaos. You don't transform. We've all probably done it. There are some people who always do it. And they're those people who go, they come to you and go, oh, my life is really lousy, blah, 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 story, 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 what should I do? And you being a good friend, you go, oh, honey, that's, blah, 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 here's my ideas, and, I'm here for you, and compassion, compassion, compassion. And then they go, oh, thank you, it's so nice somebody listens to my story. You have a great day, bye-bye. Oh, hi. Oh, my life is, story, story, la, 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 la. What do you think I should do? Well, oh, that's so sad. And then the next person. And then they take that and they go to the next person. I can remember parties I've gone to. And people come up, somebody comes up to me, and they tell me their story, and I'm compassionate, and, maybe I'll suggest something, maybe I won't, because it's not always about suggesting something. I have learned that, ladies. So I listen, and I smile, and I'm compassionate, and then I see this, and they go, oh, thank you, it's so sweet that you talk to me, and you're such a good listener, blah, blah, blah. And then I go on with the party, blah, blah, and I turn around, and that person is over there, and I could just tell by their body language, they're telling the same story. That's emoting. That's staying in the chaos of the story, usually a negative story. That is not living and being in the harmonization that creates peace of mind. Because you sit in this merry-go-round of woe is me, and I'm in persecution. And, I don't know how those people get up in the morning. So what we must do is what I call court the divine. Every day. Court that all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving energy, that vibration, that power within, that will pull that story out of us and just toss it away. Or give us the power, give us the knowledge that we have the power to take that story and go, I'm done with you, bye-bye. And that kind of peace of mind is something we develop within ourselves and redevelop within ourselves, because things sometimes come along that really knock us up, knock us for a loop, push us down. And we have to get up and go, you know what? I'm not going to let you, whatever you is, whatever the situation is, whatever the person is, negative people, I'm not going to let you get in my space. Or stay in my space, most importantly. And we need to teach the leaders of the world this. Part of the way teaching it is us having it. Because the more and more that communities, especially New Thought communities or communities that preach love, that live love, the more and more of us that do that and stand up, not just in an activist way, but in a consciousness way, it spreads. It spreads. So how do we do this? How do we, along with teaching negotiation tools, tolerance tools, there's all kinds of great tools that are being used, and I don't discount any of them. Activist tools, run around with signs, getting people to sign petitions and letting people in the world who can push those buttons, give those orders, no, we're not going to take this anymore because we want to live in peace. together as one. How do I say her name? If that's for me, I'm not here. I'm on vacation. Iyanla Van Zandt said, as soon as you decide that you are going to be faith-filled, joy-filled, peace-filled, and filled full, you're going to have a good day. There you go. So simple. It's so simple. So we need to intentionally court the divine. We need to intentionally harmonize to that which is within. And we've all felt that vibration, that energy. And sometimes we allow it to just kind of fade away because we get involved with paying bills and doing the things we're supposed to do now that we're adults. La la la. And yeah, we need to do that. We need to pay our bills, and we need to go to work for those who still work, etc., etc. But what's behind this action of paying the bills and going to work? Wayne Dyer, dear Wayne Dyer, who you may or may not know passed away a few weeks ago, who lived in Hawaii, made Hawaii his home. He used to start his day, and you can see him do this in the movie The Shift. He used to start every day with gratitude. He'd wake up, he'd throw his legs over the side of the bed, and he would just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's how he would start his day. Before he went to the restroom, before he splashed water in his face, before he had a drink of water, thank you. And it's not a thank you as in, thank you God I woke up this morning, thank you God I didn't pass away overnight. He says it in anticipation of a full day of being able to be in gratitude. Do you hear the difference I'm talking about? A little lesson. In spiritual mind treatment, everybody knows spiritual mind treatment is the affirmative prayer. We use affirmative prayer in this philosophy. And one of the tools is called spiritual mind treatment, and it starts, at least, as a 5-step tool. And then as you become comfortable for it, throw the steps out. Because you'll say them all, you'll do them all. You may do them in order, you may not. It doesn't matter. One of the steps is gratitude, and that's the 4th step. That's the step before you what they call release it. So you say these things, you connect yourself to the divine. You say what it is you've decided you require in your life right now. You give gratitude, knowing your words are heard, and then you release it for the universe to figure out how to do it, because that's the great thing. We don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. And that includes peace of mind. So gratitude in that 4th step is not, thank you for listening to me. Oh my gosh, I hope you bring it my way. There's none of that in there. This is thank you in advance, because what do you say when you get a present? Thank you. But you already got the present. So when you wake up in the morning with gratitude, it's because you know it's happening. And you're thanking in advance for something you already know that's happening. I want to make sure that we get that clear, that we don't wake up and be in gratitude because we get to face another day. A Course in Miracles says, the memory of God comes to the quiet mind. It cannot come where there is conflict, for a mind at war against itself remembers not eternal gentleness. What you remember is a part of you, for you must be as God created you. Let all this madness be undone for you, and turn in peace to the remembrance of God still shining in your quiet mind. Courting the divine, connecting to God. Divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it. You know what? It doesn't care. It doesn't care what you want to call it. I sometimes say Phil. Makes me laugh. Hopefully the universe giggles, if the universe giggles. And it lightens up everything. Now, you've heard the law of attraction. You've heard of the law of attraction. There's a big movie about the law of attraction, The Secret. Shh, it's a secret. Don't tell anyone about the law of attraction. It's a secret. It's not a secret. Well, there's also the law of subtraction. And that's something else we can do, another tool we can do to rid ourselves of not having peace of mind, or to bring peace of mind into ourselves. See, the cool thing is that the divine, the mana, the prana, the chi, is not found by adding anything. You don't need to add anything anymore. There's nothing to add. As adults, because we have tasted from, Bible reference, the tree of knowledge, which is not a sin, it's just the tree of knowledge. We become school age, and we go to school, and we learned more things than our parents taught us, which sometimes is not so great either. And then we get into the world, and we go to college, and we get the crazy 20s, and we learn all kinds of things. Well, sometimes we need to unlearn some of these things, and that's the law of subtraction. Because, see, we've added enough in our lives. We've added enough lack. We've added enough negativity. We've added enough bad news. We've added enough unforgiveness, bad relationships, blame, guilt, shoulda, woulda, couldas. Anybody have those, shoulda, woulda, couldas? Anybody over 30 probably has had a couple of shoulda, woulda, couldas. Self-pity. Some people like to soak in that a little bit. Anger. Yeah buts. People have yeah buts. You know, there's a lot of yeah buts. When we teach classes, some of you take foundations when they taught here, especially in classes like foundations where they start to learn what this philosophy is really saying in a deeper way than you can get in a service. And there's always at least one person goes, you know, that's cool. You know, I really get that, and I really like the law of attraction and the law of cause and effect and manifesting things. And that's great. Yeah, but what about... And people do that all the time. There's always the person who's the yeah, but any of that stuff, any violence of any kind, and I don't just mean physical violence or verbal violence. There's a lot of violence we do to ourselves by how we eat, how we don't exercise. That could be very violent to our bodies and our lives. Those kind of things we've added. We've added enough of those things. So we need to subtract. Use the process of subtraction by courting the divine, by being in gratitude, by harmonizing in whatever spiritual practice really gets you. This is, of course, a beautiful place, and so is Southern California, actually, too, and any place. They're a beautiful place to connect, to harmonize with the divine, with the universe. I mean, you have an especially beautiful place to do that. And we do too in Southern California. And Patty and I, a lot of times, and people in Los Angeles a lot of times forget that. We get all involved in show business, because there's a lot of show business in LA, even if you're not in show business. It feels like you're in show business because it's all around you. Whatever, you get involved with all this stuff and you don't realize, we have a beautiful ocean here in Los Angeles, within a half hour of almost everybody. Let's go down there, just be with the ocean, and be with that harmonization. There's no way unless you've closed your mind to go to the ocean and not harmonize with the divine and see that power. We went on one of those boat cruises to the Napoli? Napoli. I thought I was in Italy for a second. To the Napoli coast. And as I was hanging on for dear life on this boat, and I was looking at this beautiful color blue that only an artist could come up with, the power in that ocean just, I just allowed myself to be it. And as I was with it and understanding it and letting it waft over me, and not just physically, I really felt what I'm talking about. I really felt, even with the boat going, you know, when you're hitting the everything, I still felt that peace of mind pour over me. And I knew no matter what was happening with the boat, because of how the ocean was doing its thing, that A, I wasn't going to fall off, and B, I could just have joy through the whole experience. And every once in a while, I would turn around and I would see Patty looking at me and smiling, because she knew I really felt like King Neptune up there holding on to the thing, just because I just felt so in harmony with the ocean, in harmony with nature, and in harmony with the divine in me. Meister Eckhart. Meister Eckhart was in the Middle Ages, he was a Catholic mystic. He was one of those Catholics who believed that we are one with the divine, and there are many such Catholics over the ages. They probably weren't looked upon very highly at the time by their Catholic cohorts, but he writes some beautiful things, and one of them was, God does not ask anything else except that you let yourself go and let God be God in you. And where do you do that? You do that by yourself. You may do it in a group, but you do it within yourself, I should say. You do it in the silence. There's a beautiful song by Jack Fowler that says, in the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there is release from a world full of chaos and noise. I invite you to, if you don't have one, pick up a spiritual practice, whether it's meditating, whether it's getting up and saying thank you 3 times, 6 times, 10 times, whether it's, as Emma Curtis Hopkins, who's in the New Thought lineage, as they used to call her, the teacher of teachers, because she taught Ernest Holmes a little bit. She taught the creators of the Unity Church and the creators of the Divine Church movement in the early part of the 20th century, late part of the 19th century. In her book, she has hundreds of different words for God. And she has a thing where you repeat them. You just gather a couple of dozen of them, and you just say them over and over again, almost as a mantra of sorts. That's a spiritual practice. I found snorkeling, which we have done, except for today so far, every day since we've been here, a spiritual practice. Tapping into the amazing things we have in nature right in front of us, especially here, is a spiritual practice. I invite you to tap into whatever spiritual practice you have enjoyed, and maybe some that you don't know about. I was not a meditator till this year, 2015, yeah, till this year. I had meditated before, but I discovered a new way through Patty of meditation, and that has taken me, transformed me, transcended me in so many ways. It's amazing, and I have found that I have combined spiritual mind treatment within my meditation, and that has become very powerful and helped manifest things. So this will not only harmonize you with the divine that is within you, that sometimes, as I have discussed, we forget about or step away from, and assist you in getting things, if that's what you need, stuff, anywhere from a parking place to a better job or whatever. But most importantly, will connect you to the divine in you, which brings to you peace of mind. And as you have a piece of the divine, and I mean the word peace in both spellings, as each and every one of us has that and walks around with that and activates all our actions through that, we will bring to the world, inevitably, we will manifest peace on earth. Peace of the mind equals peace on earth. Thank you all so much. Namaste. Aloha. Here come the baskets. I love those baskets. Those are much cooler than the baskets on the mainland. You know what happens to so many of us who come visit here is we decide not to go back because it's so fabulous here. So now is the time for contributing to your community. And I want to stress that when you contribute, when you tithe, when you give money, whatever you want to call it, you're not just giving money to help rent the room, etc. You are giving to something you own. All of you that are here and the others who come and contribute, and those of you who contribute on a regular basis especially, you're contributing to something you own, a community that you are. And I think that's the best way to honor what's going on. Yes, it comes back to you tenfold. Yes, the more you share, the more you get in return. But I think it's very important for you to understand that it is something you give from the heart, not from the pocketbook. So if you are giving money, a check, something in an envelope right now, or if you give in other ways, I don't know if you give online. Do you give online? Can you give online here? In other ways, or you have some other way where you give, just place your hand on your heart. You're not giving by check or whatever today. And know and say with me, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I have joined freely, knowing it returns to me abundantly. Jeremy.
Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am.
It's a wonderful thing how many times you go through this song. because it takes that long to gather your contribution to this community that you own, that is a part of you. And I am knowing right now that this money, we spread it around this money.
Love the baskets.
That's what I get for moving with my eyes closed. This money, this wonderfulness, this love that each and every one of us has shared goes exactly where it needs to go. To uplift, to upload, to bring peace, to bring divinity in consciousness to this community, to CSL Kaua'i. And I know that the Board of Trustees takes these funds and brings to our community the best that there can be. Manifests through these loving funds all the wonderfulness, all the greatness, all the glory, all the divinity within each and every one of us to enhance this community and bring peace, not only to each and every one of us, but to the world. I know this with the power in me, the God power, the universal power, the divine, intelligent power within me. I know this, I believe this, I embody this, and with gratitude I release this, knowing the universe says yes. Yes. Oh my, yes. And so it is.
And so
It is. Thank you, everyone. So, next. Oh, consciousness on demand. So you have a consciousness on demand. That is fabulous. CSO Kaua'i's Ministry of Prayer is available by phone, email, or by leaving your request in our yes box. Where is that yes box?
Front and back table.
Oh, in the back table, the yes box. Okay. So, is there like little piece of paper there? Okay, so there's little pieces of paper there, and if you have something that's going on that maybe you so far haven't been able to step away from, that's okay. Write it down, put it in the box. If you would like to be contacted by someone, you can put your name and phone number, and you'll be called by a practitioner or one of the reverends, and they can give some spiritual mind treatment to you personally on the phone. If not, those pieces of paper with whatever's going on them will be taken home, and we will pray over them and know the truth about what's going on in your life. That's kind of a little whirlwind and you can't get past, and that's okay. We'll know the truth for you, and you can manifest the next step. So we're going to bring in the children. Is there children? Bring in the children. One child is children.
And he may have something to speak.
Oh, I would love that. You know, I wanted to tell a great story. I kept it out of the talk, but there was the possibility while we're waiting for the child to come. There's this great story about a little girl, like 3 or 4. She's just starting to speak, you know, and she goes to her parents, and they've had a new infant. And she goes to the parents and says, I would like to spend a little time with baby so-and-so. And the parents are like, ooh, alone? Yikes, that's scary, you know. And then, you know, they kind of confer and they realize, you know what, it's okay, we got the baby monitors in there, we can hear everything that's going on. We're right on the other side of the door. So they say, sure, go ahead. And the child goes in there, and they close the door, and, you know, they run to the other room and start listening on the baby monitor, and they hear the little 4-year-old say to the infant, please tell me what God is like. I'm beginning to forget. Isn't that a great story? There's a whole new book coming out next month that was co-written by, or adapted by Wayne Dyer, and it's conversations with children and their parents, and they were asked, what do you remember about before you were born? And I've read a few of the stories, and it's really wonderful and beautiful what children remember about the universe and the divine intelligence before we got a hold of them. Did you want to come up and say hi? Come on up. Do you want the microphone and everything? Okay. Got it? Good. Well, you can come back here. Can you see them? You got to be over here so they can see you. Can you stand here?
Yeah,
There you go. Have at it.
I learned today with Miss Janice how we talked about our dreams and how we are connected to our body and our food and our pets.
Yeah, right on. I always say, and I've done talks about this, you want to see God in action? Look in the eyes of your pet. Makes me miss my cat. I've had dogs too. I'm both, cat and dog. So thank yous, Donna. Oh, that's me. Come on up, Donna. Do some thank yous. And I'm supposed to stand here next to you to make sure you do it right or something. I don't know. Here. Have at it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, thank yous. Well, first I wanted to just let everyone know in terms of if you want to volunteer, I will be up here at the front at the end of the service. So if you want to come up and talk with me, I'd be happy to take your name and number down in terms of there's a lot of different areas for volunteering if you're interested. And we're also looking for someone for donating the cake for Birthday Sunday in October. So if anyone would like to contribute to that, that would be really great. So thank yous for today. Ron LeMay, thank you very much for the announcement. And
Yay, Ron! Come on!
And then greeters Katie and Deb. Thank you.
She left.
Oh, okay. And then okay. And set up here.
Greet and go. She's a greet and go girl.
Greet and go girl. Okay. And set up Harry. Thank you so much.
Yay, Harry. Thank you, Harry.
And Kelly. And Rob and Roseanne. And Karen. Omarosa. Matt. Katie. And Ron. And if I've forgotten anyone, Carolyn?
Kelly.
Oh, Kelly. I did
Kelly,
say
help.
Kelly.
I get dessert twice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I say that at stoplights, I go through. I'll stop twice at the next one. The police don't seem to understand that, though.
And Malia, thank you for your meditation this morning. Stephanie, for the bookstore, thank you for being there. Thank you so much. Flowers, the beautiful flowers at the front. Deb, thank you so much. And the roses were from Janice and Matt. Thank you, Janice and Matt. And programs, Roseanne, thank you. And also presiding over the service. Rob, thank you for the live streaming. And
Close to the 98%.
Janice, thank you again for being the youth program leader. Thank you so much. Jeremy, thank you for the beautiful music. And all those who are helping to break down after the service, thank you, thank you. All those watching on live stream, including Reverend Rita and Patrick.
Yeah, rock and roll, Rita.
And then a special mahalo to Reverend James.
Thank you. Okay. That's your thank yous. What's next? Okay, so it's a closing song.
It is.
So we get in a big circle?
Yes.
Let's get in a big circle. This is a classic song in New Thought. I may not sing the same lyrics because I probably learned it differently, so ignore that. Oh, a little closer. Oh, you're gonna go behind? There we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with love as our power. With each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let us know that we step into, that we harmonize, that we court the divine from this moment on, and allow each and every experience manifest with the beauty, the glory, the wisdom, the love, the peace, and the joy of that which is within. Aloha. Aloha. And so it is. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for being so kind. It was great, great. Thank you. Hi, Melissa. Nice to meet you.
It's really nice to hear a little bit more about what's in the
Good. Good. You're welcome.
Fabulous.
Have a great rest of your
Sunday.
Great biblical name.
Yeah,
Yes.